It's 6 o'clock.
That's loud. Did you hear that?
I did. It's okay. All right. Okay, welcome, everyone. We are live again on this Monday evening for the Awakening web series. We welcome each and every one of you to the Awakening web series, and we are so delighted that you're tuning in once again with us. So those of you that join us week to week, you know exactly what to do. So put your first name in the feed, put your last name in the feed, and let us know where you're from, because we want to shout you out.
Yeah.
All right, welcome. So we're going to take some time and we're going to share this video. And what we're asking you to do is to also share this video, because we have a powerful conversation that we're going to have tonight.
Yes, it's gonna be good.
Yes, it's going to be fantabulous.
Yes.
That's a new word. Okay. Okay, I'm not able to quite share this on my page, but thank you guys for joining us. I see Monique Tucker is with us. She's saying, hi, Angel. Great evening. Taria Hodge is saying, hello, sis. We're so glad you're with us. We're going to have an awesome time. I'm going to try to find us on Facebook here and see if I can't share it to my Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up page, and also share it with you, Angel.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go. Hello, guys. Okay, again, as you join us, put your first name in the feed, put your last name in the feed, so we can shout you out. Okay, Angel.
All right. I see you.
Okay, awesome. All right, let me turn this down and we're going to get started here. Okay, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you spending your Monday evening with us with the Awakening web series. So for those of you who may be joining us for the first time and you don't know who we are, my name is Sheila Reynolds and I'm the founder of Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up, where we help progressive-minded women of faith awaken to their power and to possess the life they desire, deserve, and that they're destined for. And I'm also one of the hosts for this Awakening web series, along with my phenomenal, good girlfriend of many years.
Don't say how many.
I will tell them. This is Angel Allen Townsend. I'm so happy that you're here tonight, Angel. Welcome. How you doing, girl?
Thank you, Sheila. I am excited. I'm wonderful. I feel good. I'm excited about this topic. I'm just excited to be on with you. And again, as you just said, I really appreciate our many-year friendship. And thank God that you are my Triple G. So I'm excited to be on this platform with you and share great information that I know a lot of people are going to be blessed by. I'm blessed by it. Just being aware of what we're going to talk about tonight, it blessed me. So this is exciting.
Awesome. And for those of you that don't know what Triple G is, it's good girlfriend.
Right.
And we are each other's Triple G.
That's right. You can't take credit for it. That's the E. Lynn Harris phrase, but look him up.
I know that's right. I love it. Well, tonight, guys, we are speaking from the topic of unlocking the superpower of authenticity. I think that is just so profound. And as you're coming on, I want you guys to think about that. And I want you to think about some of the things that you're interested in hearing us talk about tonight. And as we go along on this broadcast, I want you to be engaged. We're going to ask you to engage with us, to chime in, to put things in the feed so that you can be a part of this conversation as well. Because the Awakening Web series is all about you. It is all about being able to tap into where you are now, but then where it is you want to be. So we want to take you from where you are to where you want to be and give you some of the tools to help and equip you in making that movement to wherever that might be for you. Some of you are in business, which is great, or some of you want to go into business. Maybe some of you are on your job and you want to move to another place in your job. Maybe you're looking at getting promoted. Maybe you want to go into politics. Who knows? But whatever it is, we want to help you to move from talking about it to being about it. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Exactly. That sounds wonderful.
All right.
Everybody can, that resonates with everyone. Everyone has something that they want to move into, that they want to experience more of and be better at. So this is perfect. There's no one that can't be blessed by this topic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, go ahead, Angel. What do you think about this topic? And, as we move forward and talking about it tonight.
Well, Sheila, as we were talking about what we were going to cover this evening, I was reflecting on it and just giving it a lot of thought. And a lot of things came to mind on unlocking the superpower of authenticity. The first thing that got me really excited is, I get a superpower.
Yeah.
Hero. And what does that mean? And how does that work? And how do I not only tap into it, but stay tapped into it? Because we know the way the mind works, we have to be reminded. We have to remember over and over and over again so that we can stay in that place of greatness. So I'm just so excited about what you're going to share with us regarding that, because I know you got some good stuff that you're going to share with us about how I can not only become awake, but I want to stay awake.
I know that's right. I love it, Angel. And yes, it is really exciting for me because I believe authenticity in and of itself is so foundational to us really moving in who we are and in our purpose. It's a foundational type of thing. And we're talking about superpowers. And we think about superpowers, we think about our superheroes, and we think about a superior power. And authenticity is that superior superpower that unlocks the doors to other superpowers within us that we know nothing of, that we perhaps have never tapped into because we have not allowed ourselves to be truly authentic and be in touch with who we are, what we want, what we think, what our values are, because we're tied in trying to fit in kind of thing. So the superpower of authenticity, it unlocks the door to other powers, and it really awakens us as women, as men. And I know our goal is women, but the men that are listening too, it does the same for you as well. So yeah, I'm really excited about diving into this topic.
So let me just be clear, because hopefully someone will pick up on this as well and put that in the feed for us. Are you saying that it all starts with authenticity? Everything that wherever we want to go, if we start with authenticity, we have a better chance of getting there. Is that what I hear you saying?
I think so. I think authenticity is the impetus to fulfillment and success in life. I think we are more successful, and studies have shown we're more successful, we're happier when we are authentic.
Okay, so we lay that foundation of authenticity, and everything builds from there.
Yes, everything builds from there. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I am excited about delving into this. And I think that what I'd like to find out first is just I'd like to get a little information from you about you and why this matters to you and why it should matter to us. So can you first tell me, Sheila, tell us, Sheila, what exactly is the definition of authenticity? So how would we know that we're there, that we have it? If you can tell us that, that would be a great place. That's our foundation. Let's start.
Exactly. I think that's good. And before I do that, what I would like to do is I would like to ask those of you that are watching us to type in the feed what you think authenticity is. Okay? So type in the feed what you think authenticity is. And we've got some other folks joining us. As you type that in the feed, I'm going to shout out those that have joined us. I want to thank you, Robert Jackson, for joining us. He said, thank you so much. We brothers appreciate you and love you. Thank you so much. That's just such a special thing to me. So I appreciate that, Robert, and I so appreciate you joining. B. Cassandra Thornton, she says, everything starts with being true about you. LOL. Yes, thank you, B. Cassandra. We so appreciate you joining. Monique Tucker says we start with authenticity. And Sharon Burrell, we thank you for joining us. She said, yes, this is true. So type in the feed what you think authenticity is. B. Cassandra Thornton said it's being true about you. Come on now, B. Cassandra. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
it is. Authenticity. B. Cassandra, you said it correctly. It's being true to who you are, your values, how you think, your thoughts, and not being a duplicate of somebody else. Sharon Burrell said it's being true to God, yourself, and to others. You said that, Pastor Sharon. That's it. Being true is being aligned, and it's also another way that we can look at it, in addition to being true to ourselves and true to God and true to who we are in our makeup, and also not trying to be a duplicate of somebody else, is being willing to be seen. Okay, another way to look at it is being willing to be seen. So let me share a quick story with you around that piece, because I was watching a movie the other day. Actually, it was the 2015 version of Cinderella. And who doesn't like Cinderella? I love Cinderella. And so, this is a newer version. And I was looking at the part in the movie where Cinderella was standing in the mirror looking at herself. She was getting ready to see the king again to try on the slipper. And she knew that she had seen him before. And when she seen him before, he thought that she was a princess.
Okay.
And so she was considering, as she looked in this mirror, she was considering what he would think about her as she began to share, I'm not really a princess. I'm really a lowly peasant girl. And as she gazed at herself in the mirror, as she looked and she began to consider that, she heard a voice from her deceased mother. And her deceased mother said this. She said, perhaps the greatest risk any of us will ever take is to be seen for who we are.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, that was powerful. And when I heard that, the first thing I thought about was, what about being seen are we afraid of? What about being seen are we afraid of? And then I thought, I think that we're afraid of being vulnerable. We're afraid if somebody sees us for who we really are, that they will reject us.
That's powerful, Sheila, because no one wants to be rejected. I mean, I think that's one of humankind's biggest fears, is that we're going to be rejected or someone won't like me. And I think that is a driving force for a lot of things that a lot of people do. So that's powerful.
Yeah, It is. And so that's a part of the things that we have to journey through in order to really be authentic and be aligned. We have to be willing to be seen and be okay with who we are and what we're bringing to the table. Not to say that we won't improve and we won't grow, but we have to be able to be okay with who we are.
I love it. I love it. And the thing that comes to mind when you say that is that we are all unique individuals. So,
Yes.
so it's okay to be just your unique self. That there's fun in that. There's freedom in that. So I hear you saying that. So that's to be vulnerable is it should let's figure out how to make that okay.
Exactly. Let's be okay. So I want you guys to put in the feed, it's okay to be vulnerable. Put that in the feed. It's okay to be vulnerable. Monique Tucker says, be willing to be seen, be vulnerable, be transparent, and honor who you are and whose you are. Oh, Monique, that's powerful. And I know her personally, so I know that that's very much a part of who she is. That's powerful. Johnny Morris has given us a thumb up. Welcome, Johnny Morris. We appreciate you for watching us. So put in the feed, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. Hashtag I am vulnerable. All right. So we're talking about authenticity, and we're talking about authenticity as a superpower. So why are we saying authenticity is a superpower? When we think about a superpower, Angel, we think about it being a power that is greater than other powers. It's something that's superior. It's something that's excessive. So why is authenticity a superpower? And I think we kind of addressed that a little bit, because when we are authentic, we can really be able to see and understand who we are and what our gifts are, where we're weak, where we're strong, and it allows us to be able to really align ourselves with our strengths. And then we're able to really move in and wake up to our power and wake up and possess, as we say, the life that we desire, that we deserve, and that we're destined for. So what are your thoughts about that?
Well, you said so much in those few sentences that I want to kind of just go back to the first thing that you said, that when we awaken to our authenticity, it allows us to access all of these other things. So what I'm asking you, if I'm hearing you say, is how do we learn how to be in that space so that you talked about being vulnerable. How do you learn how to be okay with vulnerability?
Yes.
So those are like, I know that this is the foundation for it, but if you have never lived there, how do you get over there?
Yes, that is so good, guys. Because I know that vulnerability, most of us see vulnerability as being weak, right? And we don't want to be weak. Even though the scripture says when we are weak, then we are strong.
Right.
We as humans, our human nature, we don't want to be weak. We don't want to come across like we don't have it together or that people can walk all over us. We don't want to be laughed at, all of those kinds of things. But when we get to a place where we're going to talk about how to unlock the superpower of authenticity, and this is a part of it, when we get to a place where we are comfortable with who we are, and that's a journey. Now let me just share this piece with you guys, because we talked about authenticity being true to who you are, your values, your personality, and not trying to be a duplicate of someone else. But Brene Brown characterizes authenticity like this. Authenticity is a collection of choices that we make every day. We make the choice every day to be honest, to be real, to be in alignment with who we are and to show our true selves. So when we're authentic, we're choosing it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's not something that we are and it's done. It's every day when we're living in this life that we have to make choices to show up in our real selves. In that conversation where somebody is saying something that is dishonoring you or dishonoring someone else, or that really bothers you, and we make the choice to really say, I don't see it that way, to voice our opinion, to express ourselves, to get out there, be willing to be seen and recognized for who we are.
Yes. Wow, that's really powerful. Yeah, that's the vulnerability, the authenticity. Every day you just say, okay, I'm going to navigate these waters. I'm going to walk in my truth. I'm going to experience my truth, and I'm going to be aware of my truth so that I can do that.
Absolutely.
Constantly checking in with yourself to make sure that you are living your truth.
Absolutely. So when we're operating in that authenticity, and the thing of it is, it's not easy. Okay, we have to realize that all of this is bringing us out of our comfort zone. And all of this is enabling us as the foundation to be able to be successful in our lives. Yeah. Because when we are authentic, we're able, and research has shown, when you're authentic, you're able to go after things. You have the confidence to move out and go after the things that you want. You don't have as much fear that holds you back from doing and being who you are designed and desired to be. So that's what makes it a superpower. Come on, somebody. Hashtag superpower up in the feed here. We're talking about this unlocking the superpower of authenticity and talking about how do you do that. These are some great questions that you're asking. What else, Angel, comes up for you?
The first thing that comes up for me really strong is the desire that our society places on each of us to feel a sense of perfectionism, to feel that we already have it together. And I know you touched on that just a bit, but if you can just kind of expound on that, because, everybody, you want to get in the best school, you want to drive the best car, you want to live in the best neighborhood. And to do those things may keep a person from living an authentic life, because you're so busy chasing the dream that you lose track of this other stuff over here. This voice is saying, do this. This is where your happiness and your freedom and your joy are. Yeah,
we're so busy trying to keep up with the Joneses in a nutshell, versus living our life and living, our truth and being aligned to who we are. Nothing's wrong with that. But when it takes you off track of who you are and what you're about, it causes you to lose who you are sometimes. So to speak. And I think I heard you talk regarding perfectionism. And I know that I struggle with perfectionism and people pleasing, bottom line, point blank, and so that is something that I'm aware of that is like kryptonite. That's how I would say it. We're talking about superpowers, and perfectionism and really being hung up on that, it takes away your power. Because you're so busy trying to have a particular image and have a particular way of being, it takes you away from being authentic. So versus being perfect, my goal and all of our goal should be to be authentic. Okay, so authentic versus perfectionism. Which one? Let's not be perfect, but let's be authentic. So let me go back to the feed. And thank you guys for being here. And thank you, Mary Figures, for joining us. And Monique is tracking us. She says, safe people. Sharon Burrell is saying, self-reality. Love it, Monique is saying. Hashtag superpower. Hashtag superpower. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, we all have these things. So as we talk about this, we want to look at how do we unlock this superpower that we all have access to. Okay, nobody, no, this is every one of our superpower. So how do we unlock that, Angel? And so for me, one of the things that I think we're talking about that I want you guys to hear is that we have to be self-aware. Yeah. That is one way that we unlock the superpower of authenticity. We have to be aware of who we are. We have to understand, you know, our how we show up in the world. We have to understand how people see us. We have to be able to really deal with some of the things that we don't want to deal with about ourselves. Okay, some of the ugly things that we don't want to really face about ourselves. And we have to be able to, I think I said that, be able to understand how people see us in the world. And the more we're able to be self-aware, the more we're able to be authentic in who we really are.
Okay.
What's coming up for you, Angel?
The first thing I'm wondering when you're saying that is to what does it mean to have be aware of how other people are seeing us? How does that play in my ability to be authentic?
Yeah, basically what it does is it shows you something you may not see about yourself. Okay, and it helps you to really be honest about things, because sometimes we don't really know how we're showing up in the world. You know, one thing that was a blind spot to me, but everybody else could see it. You know, they say, Sheila, you're pretty bossy, they would say, and I know for me, I reframe that and say, it's a leadership kind of thing. But, sometimes we don't see how we're showing up in the world. Yes. And the more you're able to see those kinds of things about yourself, the more you can recognize it and adjust in ways that will help you to be your best self. Put it that way, your best authentic self.
Okay, I have to ask, is that there's no contradiction in that? So I want to make sure that we're not saying that the way you see me, I don't need to change who I am or my personality to fit something that's more appeasing and more palatable to.
Right.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Thank you for that, because it's really just accepting that as a fact. Like, I'm very much aware that I've been a people pleaser. I'm very much aware that I operate in this unattainable, perfectionistic kind of thing. Okay. When we're not authentic, folks, we live in a false reality. Okay. Okay. We live in fantasy. If I didn't recognize that about myself and acknowledge those pieces about myself, I'm not able to be authentic in who I am. Okay. And often when we're not authentic, we get defensive too.
So if someone had, if I'm rephrasing just to make sure that I have it, and hopefully it's helping the audience to make sure they have it as well. So if you were not in an authentic space, living from an authentic space, and someone says, Sheila, you're bossy, then you might become defensive if you weren't already aware that you are assertive, as Monique said.
Yeah,
Great leadership skills. So you know that may be the way they're saying it, but you're not defensive because you know who you are.
absolutely.
You're comfortable in that space.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about, knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's a part of the self-awareness,
Yeah.
and being authentically aligned to how God made you.
Yeah.
And then I can't be anybody else. You can't be anybody else. And when we're somebody else, what? We're what? Inauthentic.
Yeah.
We're not authentic. So we have to cultivate self-awareness. And the second thing is we have to cultivate self-love. And see, and that's the piece that you're moving on, Angel.
Well, yeah, so just to make sure that you're okay with whatever someone else, how a person perceives you, you're not trying to come across and be abrasive,
Right.
but you can be assertive.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Absolutely. You're just really aware, of your giftings, of your strengths, of your weaknesses, because we all are going to have our weaknesses.
Yeah.
And even when you operate in that weakness, you're aware of that weakness, but when you're healthy, you can forgive that weakness and be okay with that weakness. And that's what self-love is all about. All right. And let me back up, guys, and thank you guys for so much for being in this in the feed. And I want to welcome Marsha White. Thank you so much for joining us, Marsha, and Monique for reframing my bossiness, as people would say, to assertiveness, because that's exactly how I see it. It doesn't bother me because I know I'm called to lead, and I know I have a strong leadership ability, but I realize that sometimes for some it can be overpowering. But because I'm cultivating self-love, which is a part of being authentic and unlocking that superpower of authenticity, I'm cultivating self-love every day. And remember, authenticity, as defined by Brené Brown, is a collection of choices that we make every day to be honest, to show up real, and to show up as our real and our true selves. That's what authenticity is. It's an ongoing process. But let me share this with you guys that I thought was so interesting, is that there was a recent study that was done, and this goes back to the self-awareness, Angel, that by Tara Urick, I believe that was her name. And she did a study on thousands of people over several years. Her team tested the level of self-awareness of those 1,000 people over several years. And what she found was that there were two groups of people. The first group is people who think that they are self-aware. And then the second group of people are people who are actually self-aware. Okay?
All right.
And so those people, 95% of the people think that they are self-aware. But in actuality, there's only 10 to 15% of the people that she studied that are actually self-aware. So these are the things. Absolutely. And so what that says, people, because we're talking again about unlocking the superpower of authenticity, is that we need other people to help us to be self-aware, that we have blind spots, that we don't see everything. And that's why we have to be so open to feedback, into learning, into growing, because we don't see everything about ourselves, good and bad. All right?
Yeah, absolutely. And as a hypnotherapist, I understand the power of the mind, and I understand the way we all operate from autopilot.
Yes.
And that, I think, is kind of what you're talking about, is that you think that you're aware, you think that you are paying attention to what you're doing and how you're getting from point A to point B. But we have done so many things by rote for so long that that's just what we do and where we live.
Absolutely.
So what I hear you saying, Sheila, if I'm correct, is that start to pay attention to how you live your life. Live your life with attention and intention.
Yes, yes,
those are the daily choices that we're making, being aware. Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know, time always goes so fast. I want to check in the feed, you guys, and see what you guys are saying. And I want to thank those that are coming in and joining us. And everybody's just giving me so many compliments. Thank you, Robert. He said, you're not bossy. You just take command. It's your job to lead. You got that right. I've reframed it over the years. It used to kind of bother me, but it doesn't bother me. I accept myself for who I am. And that's what I want you guys to write in the feed. I want you to accept yourself for who you are. Write in the feed, I accept myself for who I am. Doesn't mean we can't grow, doesn't mean we can't continue to improve, but we are unlocking the superpower of authenticity tonight. And we are going to do that by becoming self-aware and by cultivating self-love, by really honoring who you are. And so let me share this with you guys that I think was so interesting. And I want you to just imagine this with me. And we're talking about cultivating self-love. Imagine if you could feel so secure and in love with who you are that you no longer see other people's opinions or their behaviors as a reflection of your own self-worth or value. You're so wrapped up in your own self-love and aligned with your own truth that you're completely unaffected by how people respond to you. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be a great place for all of us to live, yeah.
Absolutely, and that's what we want to strive to. And you can think about it like this too. Remember how wonderful it feels when you first fall in love, or when you meet a new friend who you think is just amazing. Even if friends or family try to warn you about this person, you don't take any of it on board because you refuse to see anything bad about them. Imagine if you could feel that way about yourself. That's the kind of radical self-love you need to cultivate if you're going to live your truth freely.
Ooh, I love it, Sheila.
Isn't that powerful?
That's very powerful. I love it. So I want you to tell us how we get there.
I think we get there by daily making the choices and daily living in that. It's no quick fix. That's what I want people to understand. It won't be a quick fix. This is something that we can do daily, and we need support in doing it. And I think that's one thing that we are positioned to do as with Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up. Okay, that's what it's all about. We're all about helping women to be aligned to who they really are and truly are, to work through some of those issues and to be able to hold you accountable. We're an accountability network for high achieving women. And so basically the benefits of all of this is just to help you to have a more fulfilled life, to really be successful in the life in which you're living, to really be able to go after what it is that you want, and to have peace, and to really have the peace in order to make the decisions that you need to make. So it's just kind of like we need this. We cannot do this alone. Would you agree? Right?
Absolutely. And of course, the image that's coming to mind is working out with a trainer, and how to use the weights. And the more you use a muscle, the stronger that muscle gets. But you have support in getting there. so that you can be your strongest self or your healthiest self or whatever your goal is when you reach out to meet with that trainer. So I see this group as an opportunity that kind of embraces you and helps you be comfortable with self-love. And practice self-love so that you get really good at it. And then when you get good at it, you can teach someone else to do it. Or you can show up as a person who engages in that, and that gives another person the freedom to be that as well.
Absolutely. And you know, it's so interesting to me, Angel, because, you know, we know these things, we talk about these things as we grow older, you know, we become more aware, you know, more self-aware, but the issue becomes, do we move in what we know? Okay, because we can know it, we can think it, we can reflect on things, but do we really move out in our alignment and our authenticity? Do we continue to stay in places that keep us limited, that where we're not really living our best life? And when I think about that, I think about, and I think many of us might have already heard this, about the top regrets, 5 regrets of the dying. There was a nurse who worked with the dying, and there were 5 regrets that were consistent when she spoke to those that were dying. What are your regrets? And these are 3 of them that I jotted down that applies. The first regret was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Okay, this is the regret of people that are on their deathbed. And we have an opportunity now to take courage to live a life that is true to us, not what other people expect of us. And this just ties so into why I started Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up, because I was at a place where I knew that there was more to my life than what I was living. And my best friend, Susan, she was going through some challenges in her life and some illnesses, and, you know, she was just struggling at that time and really was saying, you know, I know that there's more to my life than what I'm living, and I'm really ready to live my life, and I'm ready to live it right now. And we were just having, you know, this conversation, and I'm just really hearing her heart and really understanding her heart. And as she was sharing those things, she didn't realize that in 9 months that she would no longer be with us, that she would go home and be with the Lord. And that was such a wake-up call for me to say, I know people may not understand what's happening with me. I know people may think that I'm supposed to move in ministry a particular way. Even I thought I would be moving in a particular way. I didn't realize that I was still walking in an area where I was people pleasing, and when I was trying to be perfect and connect the dots of my life the way that I thought that they needed to be. I had to really wake up to really aligning myself with what was authentically in my spirit, within my heart, what my truth was, and really begin to move out in that and say, I've got to go. Even though I don't really understand it all, I have to move out in my truth. And I know that there are so many of us out there and so many people that are in the same place as I am in. And so for me, I said, I'm going to move out in it. And as I move out in it, I'm going to take anybody and everybody right along with me as we cultivate self-awareness, as we cultivate self-love. We're going to wake up, we're going to rise up, and we're going to live up to the potential, the possibilities, and the purposes of our lives.
Well,
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I appreciate you sharing it. There's some vulnerability even in sharing that your friend, as close as you all were, and her making her transition and sharing part of her story. So first of all, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you too for establishing a movement that can help so many of us live our best lives. And as I have said to you so many times, you are selfless. And for you to say, you know what, I want to walk in this. I get it. This is so important. Come on, y'all, let's all go together. That's beautiful, Sheila. A lot of people say, you know what, I got it, figure it out. But you, my sister, say, I got it, and I want to share it. This is powerful. Let's all do this together. So in that, maybe you can tell us how the Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up movement can help people to do that.
Yes. I think, one thing about the Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up movement and where we're at right now is we're really stopping to reassess ourselves, because so often, many of us, we've had great success in our lives and we've done some great things in our lives, but we're at a place of transitioning, and we're at a place where we're saying, is this really where I want to be? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I feel like there's something more. There's something else that's calling my name. And so Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up provides a space for you to explore, for you to safely explore, a sacred space where we have awakening sessions, where we come together and there is structure, and there is accountability, and there is just an opportunity to really awaken. I guess that is truly the word, and really explore and find out, where am I? Through various assessments, through various structured, guided processes, you're able to really take that time, and that's the first part of it, to really discover. It's a reflection and the discovery of your purpose, because things change, we change.
Yeah.
So we do that. And then, there is, like I said, we are an accountability network. Okay. And we provide that support and accountability for one another. So I think it's been very, very powerful. You get the clarity that you need.
Yes, that's wonderful. So not only do you help people kind of pull those layers back and scrub off the scales of life that have kept them from living or knowing what they want, and and living their authentic selves. Once you kind of help them see those things, then you keep them on that path, help them to stay
Absolutely.
Yeah, we all need accountability. We all need accountability partners.
We do.
Accountability partners.
We all need accountability. We really do. Because there has to come a time, folks, when we stop talking about it and we start being about it. Yeah. And we just got to find, if Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up isn't something that resonates for you, there's something out there that will resonate for you, that will help you to get to your next level, because that's what it's about. Because we don't want to be at a place in our lives where we have regrets. We don't want to leave this life with regret, saying, I wish I had the courage to live a life that's true to myself and not a life that's expected of me of others, which is the number one regret of the dying.
And that in itself, Sheila, is so amazingly powerful that we really don't want to close our eyes and not have experienced at least some of the gifts that have put inside of each of us. And that allow us to smile from the inside.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's so much more. Where we are is nothing compared to all that awaits us.
Yeah.
And if you are feeling that call for more, if you're feeling like, it's time for me to really move out of the limitations and the bondage that have kept me from really being who I really, really am, then it's time to do something different, to move in that direction, to get what it is you want, you desire, you deserve, and that you're destined for. You know, whether that's your love life, you know, whether that's your health, you know, whether that's a business, whatever it is, it's there for you.
Right.
And I believe that you can have it. I think it's just a matter of you deciding to stop talking about it and start being about it, and finding the ways and the support so that you can get that.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, this has been fantastic. I'm just excited. I'm just kind of tingling with excitement, and to not only as I take this journey with you, but just again sharing it with other people, because I'm just can just imagine all over the country people just popping with excitement because they begin to say, you know what, I can have this too. I can experience this. Show me how to do this too. Let's take this walk together.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, when I think about authenticity, I think about freedom.
Yeah.
I think about alignment, and I think about transparency. And when we can be free, and when we can just be who we are, when we can express ourselves freely, you know, when we can really just go after that which we desire. Let me share this as we kind of wrap things up, because there's a book that's called Be Yourself. Everybody else is taken, and it's by Mike Robbins, and he talks about being authentic means, and some of the things really ring true. And I want to share this with you, and then I want to go in the feed and just acknowledge some of those of you that are with us. Being authentic means that you live true to your values, expressing yourself, taking risks, and focusing on what matters. It means you know what matters most in your life, and you live consistently according to your priorities. I like this one. When you're being authentic, you don't worry about making mistakes and letting people down. You certainly don't let that stop you from doing anything. And then lastly, there's so many things. You go after what you want, and you're willing to take risks to get it. I think that's so important. You know, if you get anything about the superpower of authenticity, it allows you to really be able to go after what it is you want, and be willing to take the risk, and then be able to be okay if it doesn't work out, to pick yourself back up and keep it moving.
Yes, yes. I love that, Sheila. That's fantastic.
Awesome. Well, I pray and I trust that you guys have gotten value from this video today. Let me go back through the feed and thank you guys for being with us. And those of you that are on the replay, we thank you for joining us, and we hope that you have found value. And if you have, we ask that you share so that somebody else can be blessed by this video as well. So Monique says, talk about what self-love is and what it looks like. Okay, Monique, I'm sorry I missed that, but I think, you know, and hopefully we covered that, Angel. Did we cover that? Okay, great. And if not, Monique, we can have a conversation about that. But yeah. And Robert Jackson, let's see. Okay, I'm sorry. Monique had some great things in here. I'm so sorry. She said, can you discuss how we can provide feedback authentically without hurting someone? That is a good one, Monique. Yeah. I think one way that I provide feedback without hurting someone, and sometimes that may not be possible, but there is a way in which you can provide it in a way that would be less hurtful, put it that way. You know, I think one thing to always do is kind of try to see if you can get the feedback from that person first. Generally, people are harder on themselves than we ever are, and then anybody else. So you may say, how do you think that went? You know, this, and this. I saw this and this. What are your thoughts about it? How do you think things went? And then you'll have a sense, you know, of where they are. And then secondly, you can start off by saying something positive about what you liked about whatever the situation is. And then you can say, would you be interested in hearing, you know, some things that I think might be helpful to you? So you ask for permission to give them feedback. You just don't give it to them because maybe they don't want the feedback from you. You know, so, you know, that's another way in which you can give the feedback. But sometimes, you know, depending on the person, you know, you just want to affirm them and just share some of the positive things you see, but then, you know, give them an opportunity if they want some constructive criticism to share that with them. And some people just want it straight. It just depends on your relationship with them. You know, they'll say, stop beating around the bush and just tell me like it is. Some people can handle it and some people can't. So hopefully that answers your question, Monique. Okay, Sharon Burrell, she says, I am who I am. She said, I love me. I know that's right. I know that's right. And Sharon Burrell says, awesome, sis. This is great. Robert Jackson is affirming us. That's right. You got to keep walking in your anointing. You are living your purpose. Amen. Monique said we covered it. So thank you. And thank you, Brother Ghazi, for joining us. He said, peace, my sister. Selena, thank you for joining us. And Monique, she said, we covered it and love it. Awesome, awesome. We have just been so excited to be with you guys tonight. And again, hopefully you found value from this, something that you can use, you know, from it. And if you'd like to stay in contact with us, you know, with the movement, if you want to have a discovery call and talk more about how Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up can support what you're doing, if you can text me at area code 678, and somebody put this in the feed for me, 678-631-9218. Just text me, let me know your first name, your last name, that you're interested in a discovery call, and we'll set up some time and we can unpack some things and we can talk about, you know, how this movement and being a part of this movement can be a support and help to you. So Angel, are there any last things you want to add?
I'd like you to repeat that number one more time to make sure that people got it.
Okay, it's area code 678-631-9218. Area code 678-631-9218. And we can share a lot more about where you're at. I can hear your heart and hear where you're at and see if a Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up can be a support. And if not, I can share some resources that might more fit you a little bit better if we're not a fit for you. So
I can't imagine anybody this not being a fit for everyone because of your energy and the importance of what you are sharing with the world. I just think this is fantastic. And again, everybody can benefit from it. We all can benefit from being authentic, our authentic selves. So thank you again for sharing. So tell us, where do we go from here?
All right. Well, next week, guys, we're going to keep this theme and we're going to be talking about unleashing the superhero chick in you. And that's going to be powerful as well because we're waking up now. You know, we're waking up because we're moving into our authenticity. We've been asleep when we're inauthentic. You're asleep because you're not in tune with who you really are. You're not in tune with what you really want. You're not living that out on a day-to-day basis. So we've got to wake up in that area because that's the foundation of our success. And that is the superpower. That is the superpower that unlocks the key to the other superpower. And so we're going to be dealing with unleashing that super hero chick in you because there is some power in you that needs to be released, and the world needs to benefit from that within you. So we're going to see you next week. So we look forward to it. Same time, same station. What? Same bat time, same bat station.
Right.
So thank you again for joining us. We love you. We appreciate you. I look forward to hearing from those that want to connect with the Discovery Call. So thank you again, Angel. You are an awesome co-host. I love you. I appreciate you dearly. All right.
Anytime. This was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
It's 7 o'clock.
Oops.
That's all right. It's